Alright, new weapons, new builds. And our first one is quite a special one. We're gonna be playing a dual pistol Willbender that has access to almost every single boon in the game, without even having to charge up on Jade Protocols. The new weapon proficiency feels like it was made for this build. The crowd control on pistol 5 will enable us to get permanent quickness, we have enough strike damage to delete low health mobs, and enough stacks of burning to shred through veterans and above. This is a selfish build, but that's fine, because no one will be able to keep up with us anyway. And let's not waste any more time and take a look at the traits, skills and gear. Our virtue straight line will add boons and increase our strike damage every time we activate any of our virtues, which we'll be doing off cooldown to zoom around the map. It'll also increase our condition damage based on our vitality, which lets us double dip on stats like Celestial, and increase our strike damage by 7% for being above 90% HP and another 7% whenever we have Aegis, which is practically all the time. For the Grandmaster trait, I personally prefer Permeating Wrath to build up burning stacks faster, but if you're struggling with getting knocked down, feel free to swap to Indomitable Courage instead. Next up is Radiance, which will refresh Rushing Justice every time we kill an enemy, making us so fast we rarely will want to mount up anymore. Amplified Wrath will make Rushing Justice even stronger and synergizes really well with Permeating Wrath. And one of the boons we get from activating any of our virtues is Resolution, which will add another 10% extra damage to our build without having to really work for it. Finally, we have the Willbender trait line, which transforms all of our F skills into movement abilities. It'll also see us have permanent swiftness, and if that does happen to fall off, we still have a 25% passive movement speed increase. Our major traits will further increase the damage of our Willbender flames, which are all of those trails we leave behind. They'll also increase our might and fury and add alacrity and regen to flowing resolve, which is our F2 skill. As for the utilities, we're going to keep it simple and take Signet of Resolve for healing, Bane Signet for extra strike damage and its knockdown, which I'll explain later, as well as Signet of Wrath for improved condition damage. Purging Flames will add a fire field to our arsenal and is an excellent condition cleanse, and Feel My Wrath will help us maintain permanent quickness. And by the way, ArenaNet is adding super speed to this elite skill with the March 19 balance patch, so it's about to become even better. Now onto the gear, and by the end of it you'll see exactly how we can maintain permanent quickness despite it not being a boon Willbender has a lot of access to. In the footage I'm running Celestial gear with leadership runes, as we're basically benefiting from every single stat on our gear. If you want more offense, feel free to swap to Vipers instead, or Ritualists if you want some extra vitality. Although, do keep in mind that Ritualist gear doesn't come with a power stat, so your build will be less bursty. The reason I'm running leadership runes is because I just wanted the most average stat spread I could achieve. But if you have a set with Trapper, Balthazar or Firebrand runes, those will work just as well. The sigils in our pistols are the reason we're getting permanent quickness, as we're equipping both a superior and a major sigil of celerity, which actually stack with each other. Every 20 seconds we disable an enemy, we'll get 9 seconds of quickness. And this combined with our Feel My Wrath elite, our Celestial gear and the Relic of the Herald will basically ensure we can maintain permanent quickness, as long as we use pistol 5 roughly every 20 seconds. In the skill section, I mentioned Bane Signet's knockdown being important. And that's because it'll be your backup in case you use your pistol 5 too early. Normally, both skills are on a 20-second cooldown and align perfectly with your sigils. But thanks to having permanent alacrity, you'll want to wait a couple of seconds before reactivating them. This is something I tend to mess up, especially during longer farming sessions. And having this backup basically alleviates the one issue this build might run into. The general playstyle is really simple. Use your virtues to get to your next target faster, put down pistol 3 and Purging Flames whenever they're off cooldown, and pistol 2 and 4 will do the rest for you. So get out there, start farming some enemies, and if you don't know what to farm, check out my previous video. By this point you also know what to do. Questions below or on Discord, and decimate those like and subscribe buttons.